So I used to believe that when somebody said, you all you got to do is love yourself. That it was kind of fairly easy. That if you kind of said good things to yourself about yourself, then the world would be a fine and dandy place. But quite honestly, I think that's trying to love yourself is a false premise. I don't think it's a good starting place. I think that the first thing you need to do is to accept that you exist, and which it might sound like a sort of like some kind of grand woo-woo vision, but I think to accept that you exist is enough to kind of ground you in the present. I think loving yourself is very, very difficult. Loving yourself comes with the acknowledgement that you are capable of doing lots of different things, and that only comes with time. I think it's easy to love yourself after 10 years of achieving stuff, because you can look back and say, yeah, what I did was really, really good. But even then, I don't think it's possible sometimes to actually love yourself. I think you're always overcritical for a start off. We always look back at the things we got wrong. I mean, I was just doing it a few minutes ago. But the one thing that kind of holds me in good stead these days is what somebody said, probably via the internet somewhere. They said, the most important thing is to acknowledge that you exist, and that, you are made up of, and I'm sure this is factually true, we're made up of everything that the universe is made up of, and we're part of a universe and we exist, and because we exist, that's all that matters. They also said that, heard that when we worry about the past and we worry about the future, somebody said, you can only think about the past in the present. You can only think about planning for the future in the present. You can't think about the past in the past. Everything is in the present. So I kind of feel that, as long as I kind of remember that I exist and remember that what I do in the present, it might build my future. But there's no point in thinking about the past in the present either, because it's not going to help me one bit. You can learn from your mistakes, but actually thinking about the past usually results in you kind of wallowing in past failures, and it's best to actually put one foot in front of the other in the present and then just build upon everything. Lots of people that are very successful, that I'm sure that is a fundamental skill, that they just build momentum in the moment, without sort of like looking too far ahead. Obviously, really clever people like chess players, they plan moves in advance. I'm not entirely sure whether that transfers to real life, whether you can plan 5 moves ahead. Some people kind of are good at reading multiple situations, so they can possibly plan 5 moves ahead. But in my opinion, as long as you do the right thing in the moment, or try and do the right thing, make a decision, and just be your best self at that point, then it doesn't really matter what happened in the past. We all make mistakes, but there's no need to beat yourself up in the present about the past, because all you're doing is robbing yourself of vital moments when you can either be happy in the present moment, or be actually doing something in the present moment that might aid your future without actually having to think too far ahead about your future. So just live in the moment, not nihilistically, but just live in the moment and plan the future in the moment rather than think about the future too far ahead. You actually do stuff and keep the momentum going, keep progress going, and life will be a lot better. But don't ever kind of like let anyone tell you to, the only way is to love yourself, because it's just one of those sayings that I don't think it has any substance whatsoever. You know, just be yourself. Forget about loving yourself. Just be yourself and exist in the moment that we're all given, for however long. And I'm sure things will progress.